The nurse, not knowing that the patient had a history of drug addiction, actually gave him a morphine injection to relieve his pain. This is the most fatal thing for someone who has successfully quit drugs. The man's drug addiction relapsed again at night. The excruciating pain left him unable to say a word. Just as he was about to collapse, in a trance, he seemed to see his own daughter, stayed with him through this difficult night. But this injury was too severe. The doctor told him that he might never be able to walk on the ground again, let alone take part in the triathlon. He knelt on the ground and cried uncontrollably. Everyone saw how hard he worked along the way. Even his girlfriend's father came to encourage him, and he also told him his daughter's name. After that, the man rekindled his fighting spirit. For his daughter, he fell down and got up again and again. No matter how difficult it is, he persists. A man that drug addiction couldn't defeat must have an incredibly strong iron will. Half a year later, the man miraculously recovered as before, and he didn't forget his dream either. Always kept in mind to participate in the triathlon. However, just 1 month before the competition, the organizers temporarily changed the competition rules. They doubled the distance of the triathlon. This time, it required swimming 3 kilometers, cycling 160 kilometers, and running 30 kilometers. The coach advised him to give up for safety reasons, but the man firmly chose to take part in the competition. Soon, the day of the competition arrived. With the referee's gunshot, the participants all rushed into the sea, but the man had only swum a few hundred meters when the previous trauma to his lungs almost made him drown. Fortunately, the rescue team fished him out of the water in time, but after just taking 2 heavy breaths, the man immediately jumped into the water again and struggled to catch up. When he got ashore, he was already 10 minutes behind the first place contestant. The next cycling part was his strong suit. On the track, he did his best to chase desperately. He overtook one contestant after another. When it came to the final long distance running, he had already taken the first place, but in the last 10 kilometers, his body was completely exhausted. The coach caught up with him. At this time, the man's feet were worn to a bloody mess. The coach asked him to give up, but the man still refused. He borrowed a small knife and cut open his shoes to reduce friction and continued on his way, enduring the tearing pain. The man was completely holding on by willpower. In a trance, he ran into his own illusion, his deceased good friend, his girlfriend whom he missed terribly. All the drug addicts gathered around him asking for help. Standing in his way was his former self. That puppet tried to pull him back to hell, but the man was no longer timid and cowardly. He vented years of pent-up resentment on the puppet. When he threw the last punch, the illusion also shattered. Looking at the finish line not far away, he took difficult steps towards it, but his legs had no strength left. He fell heavily to the ground and could only support himself with his hands to crawl forward. At this moment, he seemed to see his daughter and lover waiting for him at the finish line. The power of love made the man stand up again. Amidst the cheers of the crowd, the man stumbled across the finish line. He won the Triathlon World Championship. He went from a drug addict despised by everyone to a world champion admired by all. As long as you believe in yourself and remain unwavering, you will definitely be able to overcome difficulties.